Valentine's Day is not only a day of love but also the anniversary of one of the most infamous massacres in American history, the 1929 St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago. Let's delve into the story of gang violence during the Prohibition era, a time when the law was challenged, and blood was spilled on the streets. During the 1920s, Prohibition in the United States created a violent underworld. Gangs fought to control the illegal liquor trade, and Chicago became the center of this war. Al Capone, known as Scarface, and Bugs Moran, his main rival, led the two largest gangs in Chicago. Their battle grew increasingly brutal. On the morning of February 14, 1929, at 2122 North Clark Street, a warehouse owned by George Bugs Moran, everything seemed normal until a group of strangers arrived. 7 members of the North Side Gang were gathered inside the warehouse, inspecting a shipment of bootleg liquor. Suddenly, 2 black Cadillac cars pulled up in front. 4 men stepped out, 2 of them dressed as police officers. The 2 fake officers entered the warehouse while the other 2 stood guard outside. They ordered the 7 men to line up against the wall as if conducting a routine inspection. But then, they pulled out Thompson submachine guns and opened fire. The sound of gunfire shattered the quiet winter morning. When the police arrived, they discovered a horrifying scene. All 7 victims were dead, their bodies riddled with bullets. Some were shot in the head, chest, and back. Blood stained the walls. The victims: James Clark, a trusted gunman of Bugs Moran. Peter Gussenberg, a key member of the North Side Gang. Frank Gussenberg, Peter's brother and a skilled gunman. Albert Kachelek, aka James Clark, a weapons expert. Adam Heyer, the gang's accountant. John May, a mechanic who worked on gang vehicles. Reinhard Schwimmer, a civilian friend of the gang who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Frank Gussenberg, despite being shot 14 times, survived long enough to be taken to the hospital. When the police questioned him about the shooters, he simply replied, "I won't say anything. I don't want to cause trouble." He later died. All circumstantial evidence pointed to Al Capone. This was clearly an attempt to eliminate Bugs Moran, his biggest rival. However, at the time, Al Capone was in Miami, Florida, thousands of miles away from Chicago. He had the perfect alibi, and no direct evidence linked him to the crime. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre shocked the entire nation. It became a symbol of gang violence during Prohibition. Public outrage pressured the government to crack down on organized crime, and eventually, Prohibition ended in 1933. To this day, the identities of those responsible for the massacre remain a mystery. While many believe Al Capone orchestrated the attack, there was never enough evidence to convict him. Who do you think was truly behind the massacre? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to follow more mysterious crime stories.